Apple has just drawn one of the clearest lines in its history between the past and the future. Without a big keynote or dramatic announcement, the company has quietly retired nearly 25 products across its entire lineup. And among them is one of the most emotional exits of all time, the final iPhone SE for millions of users. The iPhone SE wasn't just another phone. It represented affordability, simplicity, and compact design in a smartphone world that kept getting bigger, more expensive, and more complex. Its silent disappearance doesn't just mark the end of a product, it marks the end of an era. But the iPhone SE is only one piece of a much bigger strategy. This massive product cleanup signals a major shift in Apple's ecosystem, design philosophy, and long-term vision. Let's break down what Apple retired, why it matters, and what this means for consumers moving forward. What exactly did Apple retire? Over the course of the past year, Apple has removed around 25 devices and accessories from active sale. These retirements span nearly every major Apple product category, including iPhones, iPads, Apple Watches, Macs, and accessories. Some of the most notable exits include iPhone SE, third generation, officially ending the SE. Line up several recent iPhone models replaced by newer generations older iPad Air, iPad Pro, and base iPad variants, multiple Apple Watch models, including SE-class devices MacBook Air and MacBook Pro configurations running older chipsets, older Mac, studio configurations, accessories built around Lightning and older charging standards, previous generation AirPods and chargers. What's important to note is that most of these products weren't retired publicly. Apple prefers a quiet phase-out strategy. Once inventory runs out, the product simply disappears from the store. And that silence is intentional. Why the end of the iPhone SE is such a big deal. The iPhone SE held a unique and irreplaceable position in Apple's smartphone strategy. First launched in 2016, the SE was designed to deliver flagship-level performance in a small, familiar body at a lower price. It kept features that many users loved long after Apple moved on, including the physical home button, Touch ID, a compact 4.7-inch display, an LCD screen instead of a more traditional iPhone design with the third-generation iPhone SE now discontinued. Apple no longer sells any iPhone with a home button, any iPhone with Touch ID, any truly compact iPhone, any LCD display iPhone, any Lightning-based iPhone in several markets. This means Apple has officially closed the chapter on its last traditional iPhone design. For users who valued one-handed use, simplicity, and lower prices, the SE's departure is deeply personal. Why did Apple make this decision? This wasn't a random move. It was strategic. First, Apple regularly refreshes its lineup. As newer devices arrive with better chips, batteries, and displays, older models naturally phase out. But this time, there's more going on. Apple is clearly working to simplify its product catalog. Over the years, overlapping models and legacy designs made the lineup harder to understand. A cleaner lineup means clearer buying decisions. At the same time, Apple is accelerating major technology transitions. USB-C replacing Lightning, Face ID becoming universal, larger, brighter displays, a unified design language across devices supporting multiple legacy standards costs money, adds complexity, and slows innovation. By retiring older products, Apple can focus its resources on the future, including Apple Silicon, AI-driven features, and entirely new product categories. What happens to people who own these retired devices? Discontinuation does not mean your device suddenly stops working. Apple typically provides software updates, security patches, repair service for several years after a product leaves sale. Only after roughly 7 years does a device become officially obsolete. If you own the last iPhone SE, you'll still receive updates for some time. However, resale value usually drops faster. Accessories may become harder to find. Repairs may become more expensive later, so while support remains, The long-term convenience gradually fades. Is Apple abandoning affordable iPhones? Not exactly, but the strategy is changing. Instead of building a separate style phone with older designs, Apple may now rely on older flagship models at reduced prices, trade-in programs, installment plans, regional pricing strategies. That said, critics argue that Apple's entry-level price has clearly moved higher without the affordable still exists, but compact and affordable together no longer do. The eras that are officially ending this retirement wave quietly closes several long-running Apple traditions. The compact iPhone era is over. The Touch ID home button era has ended on iPhone. The Lightning connector era is rapidly fading. Highly diverse body designs are giving way to uniform aesthetics for long-time Apple users. This shift is both symbolic and emotional. These features define the iPhone for more than a decade. What this says about Apple's bigger strategy, retiring 25 products at once, sends a clear message. Apple is prioritizing ecosystem consistency, performance standardization, fewer designs, fewer standards, faster innovation cycles, with Apple Silicon expanding across devices and AI becoming central to future software. Older hardware simply doesn't fit the roadmap anymore. Clearing legacy products makes room for what's next. Is this scale of retirement normal? Apple refreshes products every year, but eliminating around 25 devices in a single cycle is unusual. This wasn't routine maintenance. It was a deliberate reset and a clean break from legacy design philosophies. What should consumers do now? If you own a discontinued product, ask yourself, does it still meet your daily needs? How long will software support last? Is the battery still healthy? Will accessories remain available? With USB-C becoming the standard, Lightning users may soon need adapters or replacements. And if resale value matters, selling earlier usually preserves more value. What the end of the iPhone means for small phone fans for now? It means compromise. Apple's smallest modern iPhones are still larger than the users who loved pocket-friendly phones with physical buttons no longer have a new option. Some analysts believe Apple could revisit compact devices if demand returns, but there's no sign of that. Today, final thoughts. Apple's decision to retire 25 products and officially end the iPhone era is more than a business move. It's a cultural moment. For nearly a decade, the line bridged Apple's classic design language with modern performance. With its exit, Apple has fully embraced a future built around uniform design, Face ID, USB-C, larger displays, and high-performance silicon. Existing users still have time before support fades, but the direction is crystal clear. Apple's lineup is leaner, more standardized, and more future-focused than ever before. And with that, one of the most beloved chapters in iPhone history quietly comes to an end.